had the Asuri. And then on top of that, again, with just the way that people have been talking about the current meta shifts, people are saying Katars are looking good. We saw some impressive Katars earlier, so this might be that opportunity, that kind of character swap. And at the very least, I just like the fact that, you know what, Sidra didn't work that well.
Yep.
Do something different.
And we're going to go right back to Small Brawlhaven too. So boxing is the theme, and it's looking like Doggo is doing exactly that, kind of staying over the top of Asmodie. So Asmodie kind of getting checked a little bit on Lance at the moment. Does find one Nair. I wouldn't be surprised to see a switch pretty soon. But it doesn't seem like she's really too afraid of it. Like, she's taking some hits, like, all right, that's fine. It wasn't enough.
I mean, she is made out of metal. She's got a lot of defense. She can take a couple of hits, but Doggo is finding more consistent damage. But here comes that bow. The wake up, the gravity cancel down sig from Doggo, and that's a nice little lead for this cat.
That is one way to do it right there. Waste no time. Don't even let her get a chance to set up. Immediately play the aggressive play. And Doggo Doggo playing super aggressive. Wait a minute. Wait a whole minute. Doggo is definitely trying to show that winner's side, that winner's finals was not what's going to be transpiring here in this grand finals.
Ooh, nice dunk down, goes for another one, but Asmodie stays to the outside, still in the offstage with the Lance against Katars is a scary spot to be in, but Asmodie finds her way back onto the stage. Ensig beaten out by the Nair from Doggo on the back of her head, avoids that weapon toss. Doggo getting that extra credit.
Asmodie just trying to find a landing here. Going to be looking for a potential D-Light recovery pretty soon, but that's dependent on if Doggo even gives it to her at the moment. Does finally find a Nair, but won't be enough yet, and Doggo is... he's just finding a lot of straight hits. Does finally get punished right there for making a big play, but it was a borrowed stock. So at that point, it's like, okay, if it hits, beautiful, I look like a genius. If not, it's fine. I already got you an orange.
It is kind of like a funny mental game that just happened there. Doggo threw out like two Qatar side sigs, the longer reaching one, and Asmodie was spaced inside of it. So that third one, Doggo throws out the down sig, and Asmodie outspaces it and then punishes. So just kind of like in Doggo's head a little bit there, but still Doggo maintaining that lead.
Very, very fearful game of rock, paper, scissors that happens between these two sometimes, and I love and I enjoy watching it too, because this just goes to show the history that these two have, and just the understanding of trying to go for big plays like that, because you need to trip someone up, especially after what happened earlier. But that first stock that was looking really good, Duke, is all of a sudden becoming that much closer. And it hasn't just been the bow. There's been a lot of good straight hits on this Lance that have gotten Asmodie right back to an even game.
Yeah, really, it genuinely feels like it's been more Lance than the bow that's been working well for Asmodie. She's not getting those big strings that she's likely looking for, but she's still finding these hits here and there, still manages to get the wall touch. Doggo not able to deny, but a downlight recovery. But that lead that he had in the first stocks has been mitigated.
Also, I just remembered too, that very first game in Winners Finals, actually it looked almost exactly the same as this. Doggo started off with the lead, and then it drifted away. But it was mostly just because Doggo literally couldn't get through bow. This time, at least, Doggo is doing it while applying damage at the same time. Asmodie being very, very patient at ledge, refusing to budge forward, waiting out her time to get through. But now she's taking a lot of hits for it. And I like Doggo's pushes.
Doggo is just finding answer after answer against Asmodie, not giving her any opportunity to use that bow. That's something that you said at the start of the set was, what does Doggo need to do is shut down that bow, and so far it's working. Down sig not going to connect though.
No end light connections either. Asmodie just kind of poking at the air, but it can't be enough right here. There you go. Recovery on the board. Here's the thing though.
It ain't over till it's over.
It's not over. Doggo has a phenomenal lead right now, but I am not one to count on Asmodie. We have seen her pull off some incredibly ridiculous strings, as we're seeing 2 in a row right there. Not too much after, but that is 3 in a row, 4 interactions in a row, 4 neutral wins in a row, Duke, already.
Yeah, Doggo suddenly struggling. Recovery just needs a little bit more. Gonna stick with the sword for the consistent KO tool, but down air, just gonna get him back to the stage. Doesn't hit the neutral light, downlight recovery. Doggo takes game number 1.
I think that was all off the heels of that incredibly solid first stock. If that doesn't happen, that is probably going a different direction. And if you're Doggo, you need that. You need that to be the gas pedal that you could push down on going into game 2, because it was starting to slow. It was starting to slow down, just getting pulled over real quick. It's like, hey, check yourself. Like, this game is not done yet. But he was able to do it. Caught a pretty much a rare mistake out of Asmodie coming from the side. We saw multiple times where Asmodie kind of just jumped like 5-6 times at the ledge, but Doggo knew better. It's like, look, if I jump at you and I make a mistake, I'm now off stage. I do not want that right now. But Asmodie kind of understands, like, look, you got to prove to me that you're going to hit me in the first place. And she was almost able to bring it all the way back.
Yeah, she really just kind of said, I don't care that you have the stock advantage. I'm just going to start hitting you. And we really started to see that bow come alive. Suddenly, Doggo's starting to get a little stressed. You're starting to be worried about these potential extensions that Asmodie was starting to hit. And then when she swapped over to the Lance, that's when Doggo was like, all right, I got a couple of windows that I'm aware of that I can get in here, get that downlight recovery, because you're damaged enough that all I need is that one opportunity.
Yeah, you get walled out pretty easily by the bow and the Lance at some situations too, but they don't really happen too much when they're on Small Brawlhaven. They kind of just... that's been the theme outside of that one time. I think it was in Game 3 where they went to Demon Island and it didn't work out, but they were trying to get some separation. I'm still pretty impressed by the way that Doggo was kind of able to play around that, because even with the lead, when you have someone who has been as consistent as they have been of late, they don't get scared too often. It's kind of hard to scare them. The fact that he was able to get that first W matters a ton as we go into this next one, because that is a huge confidence booster.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're in the grand finals of the Australian region for the Winter Championship, and Doggo is playing from the elimination side. He's already taken 1 L. He lost his set earlier against Asmodie, so now he has to win 2 sets. He has to win this best of 5 and then go to another one against the top PR in the region.
Yeah, the key right now is just don't sweat, don't panic, don't freak out. Like, make sure you play exactly the same way you did in that first game, and it's still looking pretty similar. I mean, the Surrey swap definitely has been that check to not even just the bow, but like the Lance, at least up to that point, until I started to point it out. Oh my God, this is a bad spot. Asmodie gonna close it out. That was, is it gonna be enough? Is it gonna go all touch? No, trying to get the chase, and Asmodie just drifting right around it. So, all right, forget everything I said about Doggo's good play against that at the start, because Asmodie heard me and said, no, 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 no.
That was such an insane position at the very end of that first stock, too, because, I mean, Doggo's got Katars. He has some mobility. He can go for that down air, he can go for the side air, kind of get him closer to the wall, but Asmodie being down there kind of baited Doggo into going for that nair, hoping they can kind of reverse that situation and chase dodge. If he had just gone for the wall, I think he could have survived, but either way, Asmodie is up big, and Doggo with an emote at the top. Is he having some connection issues? That's generally what that means, or maybe it's nothing else, because he's swinging.
I think that might have been okay, I am currently struggling, and I'm going to let you know that I'm not out of it. I don't know, but that was definitely not meant to be, as currently Asmodie is going to get reversed.
Turnaround.
That was really good. Katars are in hand, so you, all right, Katars are not in hand. The sword is in hand. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, there is a big potential that you could go for a big play, try to go for some dare reads, but instead, going to just try and get that damage in.
Nice beat out on that down sig. Doggo, downlight doesn't hit the jump for the side air. Some uncharacteristic drops here in the grand finals.
And Doggo, I mean, it could be that point too where you're getting gassed, like even right there, just kind of dropping underneath it, not really getting. You can't afford to not get your damage in against Asmodie. Like, she's just proven that the defense is too high, but that is going to be another closeout right there from Asmodie, kind of just putting that first game in her back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so unfortunate that, like, whatever stressor is hitting Doggo right now is happening, because like you're going from potentially 20+ damage with a downlight combo off sword down to like 7 damage on just a downlight. You're really truncating your damage, but it's not over till it's over. Doggo still has these opportunities. He's getting some good damage built up, and it's Small Brawlhaven. You can get those KOs.
100%, and like you said, it's not over till it's over, and that was a very well-executed stock, barely taking any damage on that first one, so able to take that first stock and put it in his back pocket. You have to be able to rebound from that, and here we are. This one matters a ton, because this would potentially put you up 2-0 in what could be a reset, leading you into a lot of momentum to try and maybe take this tournament away from Asmodie.
I mean, bringing it back already is a great plus for Doggo, right? Like, Asmodie had a massive start to this one. That initial stock with the Lance was impressive, but Doggo fighting his way back in here. Final stocks, has the sword in hand as Asmodie getting that juggle.
Asmodie's trying to keep that consistent damage up. The bow has been it's basically been the best cut it out. Let's put a stop to this tool that she has needed so far. But there's Doggo just kind of double jumping around, just waiting to get that approach with that dare or potential falling there. But Sidelight is going to get punished. Both of them being very, very careful about how they approach.
Yeah, really good footsies there. You saw Asmodie kind of backdash, turnaround, sidelight, catching that movement from Doggo, just outspacing that approach from him. Down Sig catches Doggo, and Asmodie going to tie it up 1-1.
He's very solid in the scramble when they start to get panicky situations like that. And it was, in fact, Doggo who was starting to get hit a lot more when they had, I mean, you pointed it out, and it was right on cue. The footsie game they had, the neutral, nobody was really budging too heavily, just trying to get one mistake. But the problem was the mistakes kept getting hit into Doggo. Doggo wasn't able to come out on top. Therefore, you look for a big play. You look for something to start. D6 says, cut that out, and that puts it up to a 1-1 set.
One thing that's really, really nice for Asmodie with that bow down sig is, again, that kind of get off me tool, which is like what you're trying to do when you're the Qatar player. When you have that low range that you have, Doggo is constantly trying to be on top of Asmodie, and Asmodie's like, all right, well, as long as I have the time for this startup, I can just throw this out, and you are forced to get away from me.
It's a good option, too, because you look back to basically the last few, I'd say about like the last 30-ish seconds of that. There was at least 3 times where Doggo double jumped over it. One of them was a dare, another one was nothing, and then the last one was a double jump into a side late. So he was very obvious that he was trying to get you to press the button so he could get the punish, but she never did, and then once he finally broke, it's like, oh, cool, now you're fighting me grounded. Now this will work.
And now we're into game number 3. Back onto Small Brawl Haven. Again, Asmodie starting off incredibly strong against Doggo, this time with the bow against him, but we saw how much damage she was able to put out in game number 2 with that bow.
The big key factor here is just, well, for one, get some hits in. 2, don't let Asmodie get another early stock like what happened last time. And Asmodie's reversal game has been on point. That last, just looking like it might be similar. But if it tossed down, are you going to be able to close it out right here? Gets the wall touch.
Dare. Needs one more hit, and that'll be it. Down like ground pound. Asmodie, again, massive lead against Doggo.
She is so frightening on first stock. Like, when a lead gets built like that, it just takes literally all the wind out of your sails. I know it's a very cliched thing to say, but it's just the truth. Because now you are forced to rebound after taking so many hits from that, and now the bow is back to being on fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it'll get in your head. You're suddenly thinking about, like, how do I beat this bow, but also how do I play from behind against Asmodie? And Asmodie she's sticking with his bow, hits the recovery as well off the end light. Odd dare there, but doesn't matter as she's getting more down light nair.
Yeah, very aggressive, just boxing, just get down neutral light. I need a tool to get you away from me now. Doggo has not been able to get many to work in his favor. And once again, getting set back right off stage. Is he going to guess correctly? He does. He gets back around. He goes for a ground pound, but he's going to get reversed, and that's actually going to be enough. And that is now a 3-stock-to-1 lead.
Asmodie is in complete control of this one, showing why she is the top player in the region. Doggo needs to find some new answers. The answers that worked so well in game number 1 are no longer working as he throws out the down sig, throws out another one. Asmodie, double dare, side sig! Destruction is so true as Asmodie takes it to 1. She's 1 game away.
Doesn't matter if you decided to retreat your way up out of the match essentially there where you got caught a couple times, and, well, that one was basically just decided from the second stock. After that incredibly dominating position that she had and he got hit back, as soon as he landed here, you're going to see it. The moment he gets back into the stage, oh, never mind, it's me.
Hi. That was us.
You can see
in the past.
I love how production said, what they gonna see? They ain't gonna see nothing. They can see you leaning forward looking silly. But right now, we have what has basically become essentially the end game. Are you checked out right
Avengers.
now?
Yeah. Thanks.
On your left.
Yeah. Captain America.
Ant-Man is going to get really hurt in that movie.
We got potentially one more game, potentially more. And here's the swap from Doggo that I actually was waiting for, right? He had such an amazing Qatar game with the Asuri, and he had an amazing Cannon game with the Sidra. So why not bring out the Lin Fei? It's what people have been asking for.
I'm sorry. You got me. Like, you looked back at me, you tried to keep a straight face, and you started, like, laughing at me. Sorry. So the Lin Fei has now showed up. And you're right. Like I said, at this point, pull out all the stops. Pull out the next potential trick you might have in the book. And maybe Cannon will get it done. The Sidra wasn't able to do it earlier, but maybe the Lin Fei will be enough to try and finally get you to that game 4.
I mean, that's what he's playing for, hoping to not finish the tournament here. Asmodie 1 game away from closing this out and being the first champion of 2023. Down air, chasing again, goes for a GC side light there. Interesting option, and Doggo, reversal opportunity, but can't get that second ground pound.
Yeah, good weapon toss up, essentially to stop that attempt at that second ground pound. Just like, no, you go up there, I can guarantee get this wall touch, and you have to guess afterwards. But so far it's been relatively close to start. But now, can he get the recovery? It won't be enough just yet. Like you said before, Vector, of course, pretty heavy. Another one should get the job done and doesn't believe hard enough in the read.
No, didn't go for it. Either way, Asmodie over to Lance now. Recovery will KO. Doggo has his pick of weapons. He is one hit from getting taken down to second stocks, though.
Yeah, that's the big key factor here. Every time Doggo's gotten a lead, the lead has kind of dissipated fast afterwards. You cannot let that theme continue. I know it's easier said than done, but you literally can't let it continue. You need to get at least orange out of this stock to feel good about this. Otherwise, Asmodie is going to start to poke you away with the ball once again.
Oh, the nair, not quite enough, though. Downlight waits, hits the nair this time, and Asmodie able to clean that one up.
All right, let's see if Doggo can get some damage on the board here, because almost every single time, Duke, we've been in this position where Doggo's gone up in the lead. Asmodie has answered immediately back in the second stock. It's either been a whole rush in the first stock or a comeback factor afterwards, but it feels like no matter what Doggo's done to hold the lead, it disappears. Again, I know I said it before, but you literally can't let that happen again. You are facing elimination point.
Yeah, you got to start finding that momentum. Side air touches, turnaround, down air. Doesn't get the hit that he needs, though. Asmodie able to take that position above Doggo and going to back away over to the bow. Side sig still hits.
Well, that is rough because Doggo was so close to getting an almost perfectly executed edge guard to get the lead that he needed. Just barely missed that play, like you said. And then after all that, in the huge scramble, just gets smashed right off stage, and now is behind once again. It just needs a straight hit, but so far Asmodie's just getting her damage in.
Oh, but the recoveries,
that's not bad.
Doggo cleans it up. Final stock here. This is going to determine whether Doggo gets this to game 5 or Asmodie gets crowned the champion. She's got the bow.
I will say, at least in this position so far, this is definitely the most confident I've felt in Doggo maybe being able to push it past this point. Even though currently he's getting hit a lot, I feel like his reward on hits have been a lot better so far with the Linvei. This cannon is kind of working, but just put himself off stage. That's a bad spot.
Dodges down. Still taking a lot of damage here.
Got to be careful about how he decides to approach here. Pretty much a recovery at this point will just kind of end it all. And Asmodie pretty much looking for it right now. Sear sends him back off stage. Duke pretty close to being what could be the last stock here for Doggo.
Sidelight, not quite enough. Down air, Doggo still moving back up, gets to the wall. Neutral light, and Asmodie is gonna be the Australian Winter Champion, continuing the domination she had at the end of 2022 and bringing it to 2023.
Asmodie, once again, continuing to just look like an unstoppable force at the moment with the Vector all the way up to this point. And Doggo did make it a lot closer compared to that winner's final set earlier. It was definitely all Asmodie favor essentially up to that point. But even before that, kudos to all the people who had incredible runs up to that too. Chair had an incredible run. Vey looked phenomenal. Kyler Allison, Hipka, of course, Hipka with multiple last games.